When a budgeting app asks you to link your bank account to load it with your transaction history, you're probably not just connecting that app. You're inviting a third party to consume your entire financial history. I spent 25 years building digital enterprise systems, the infrastructure that decides who gets to see and use your personal information. So today, let's look under the hood of budgeting apps, at what actually gets shared, what it quietly reveals about you, and where it's allowed to go. And just so we're clear up front, this isn't a story about hacking or data breaches. It's a consent story, which I think will turn out to be far more interesting. Here's the mental model most people think of when they install a new app. The app is on one side, your bank on the other, with a secure little pipe between them. Two parties. You trust the app talks to the bank, that's it. Yeah, that's not how it really works. Here's the real diagram. Between almost every budgeting app and your bank sits an aggregator, companies like Plaid, MX, or MasterCard's Finicity, infrastructure companies that you've never heard of. Their whole business is maintaining connections to thousands of banks, so app developers don't have to. When you tap Link Account, the screen you're typing into usually belongs to the aggregator, not the app whose icon you tapped. There are a couple of ways these aggregators connect to your bank. The older way was you typed your actual online banking username and password into a screen, and the aggregator logged in as you and read your account information. The industry politely calls this screen scraping. The newer way is token-based. You authenticated your bank, the bank hands the aggregator a token, and that token grants standing access to a defined set of data, typically balances and transaction history, until it's revoked. The token method is genuinely better. What didn't change is that a company you didn't choose, whose name isn't on the app, now holds a standing invitation to scrutinize your entire financial life. And in fairness to everyone involved, building systems exactly like this was my day job for 2.5 decades. I'm not describing villains here, I'm describing architecture. Architecture I help normalize, which is partly why I feel qualified to make this video. Question 2. What's in the pipe? Typically, account balances, accounting, and routing details for verification, and transaction history, as much as 24 months of it, depending on the aggregator and the permissions the app requested. Every transaction holds dates, amounts, merchants, often a category, and even location data. Now, in identity management, there was a distinction I would think about constantly. There are explicit facts you state about yourself, like your name or your address, and we call those attributes. And then there are inferences, facts your behavior states for you, whether you meant to or not. Transaction history is pure inference fuel. Look at this sample statement. A pharmacy charge, same amount every 30 days, that's a medical condition. A weekly charge to a counseling practice, that's your mental health. A recurring donation, that's your politics or your faith. A gym membership that goes quiet in March, that's a story too. Late night delivery orders, bar tab patterns, a lawyer's retainer, none of it was declared. All of it's legitimate and legible. Your transaction history is the most honest diary you'll ever keep because you never meant to keep it. Once your data starts flowing, where can it go? The answer lives in 2 documents almost nobody reads, the app privacy policy and the aggregator's end-user agreement. Read them, and certain phrases keep recurring. Data may be used to improve services, maybe shared with partners, retained after you disconnect, and the big one, used in de-identified or aggregated form, which generally means it can be analyzed and monetized so long as your name has been filed off. Plaid settled a class action lawsuit for $58 million in 2022 over collecting more data than users realized. So now ask an unglamorous business question. If you use an app for free, who's paying for all this infrastructure? Somebody is. Free tier, premium upsell, negotiation fees, data products, the model varies. The constant is that your linked account and the private data that it holds are the assets on the table. And here's the part I want to be super fair about. Very little of this is illegal, and most of it is technically disclosed. I'm absolutely not suggesting there is anything unlawful about any of this. And if there are no better alternatives to this way of monetizing these services, then I see why people would feel that this is a real deal. For me, and a growing number of app users, the troubling part is that the disclosure is engineered to be agreed to, not read. And the default answer is always yes. The time for better alternatives is now. Now the case for the other side, because it's real. Automatic discovery is genuinely convenient. You link the app one time, and every old and new subscription just surfaces automatically. The aggregators are serious companies with serious security teams. Statistically, your data is far more likely to be stolen directly from your own phone than it is from an aggregator. And plenty of people with their eyes open will take that trade. A convenient way to view their finances in exchange for someone else's visibility into their finances. That's a legitimate choice. What I'm personally against is making that choice with your eyes closed, which by design is how most people make it. If you still want to get a handle on your monthly expenditures, but would rather not link anything, you don't have to. Pull up your last 2 months' worth of bank statements, set a timer for 20 minutes, and write every recurring charge down. That's the whole audit. Do it on a pad of paper or a spreadsheet like I did for 5 years. But I also built an iOS app for this. It's called Steward. You buy it once, you type your subscriptions in yourself, all your data stays on your device or in your iCloud, never on some third party's backend. It never asks for a bank login because it has no way to use it. The App Store privacy label reads data not collected, and you don't have to take my word for it. You don't have to take Apple's word for it. The whole thing works in airplane mode or offline. There's a link below in the description. And of course, a spreadsheet works great too. So I hope that you like this look under the hood of online subscription apps. Own your tools, mind your data, be persistent.